Ecriture Feminine and Women's Transgressive Writing, a manifesto, a poem, a performance piece, and an academic article. Part 3, final part, by Laura Minton. I am talking here about a language that speaks outside of the dominant discourse, whether racialized, patriarchal, class-based, etc., and undiscourse or non-discourse, a paradiscourse that brings with it the chance to step outside, run alongside, that does not attempt to use tools of power that already exist, but to forego the new tools that could create new structures, new edifices not previously imagined. The technique, the tool, in many ways prescribes what can be built. We know that with new technology, new ways of thinking emerge. So why would we not want new mental and imaginative linguistic tools of our own? As Saul Witt says, rational thoughts repeat rational thoughts. The way we think perpetuates itself. We continue to think only in the ways we've always thought. I'm not looking for a feminine language per se, except insofar as it might offer resistive language, a paralanguage that we can frolic in and search for meaning for something unknown, a Dada language, a nonsense language that leads to sense, a zom, a deformed formalism that will birth new forms. What do women want? Women want to be avant-garde. We want to be on the cutting edge of literature, to operate within and outside of the margins. That's where we reside anyway. We're used to working within that area, and we are good at it. We have gotten so used to it that we are not actually considered avant-garde. It comes very naturally to us. This is what Sisu is talking about when she speaks or writes of the Ecriture Feminine. If we're actually paying attention to how we function within society, even at this stage, even in 2016, 2017, we have to admit to ourselves that our involvement in culture and politics is still very radical, and we operate, when we're being honest with ourselves, oppositionally. To be a woman writer or artist is to be inherently, truly and inherently avant-garde, whether you know it or not, or you call yourself that or not. The revolutionary work of poetry, or to destroy language. If we could change our language, that is to say the way we think, we'd probably be able to swing the revolution, says John Cage. My own sentences on revolutionary poetics. To restructure language is to restructure thought, to restructure possibilities. 2. To scramble, if not permanently, which is impractical, and will not lead to the world we want, but temporarily, the world as we think we know it, the language that binds us to the now, to put new ideas, new juxtapositions into play, new planets into orbit. As an instrument of instruction and propaganda, it is subject to the same pitfalls that all other forms of discourse and communication fall prey to. The avant-garde is the first wave, the groundwork of consciousness, preparing the field. Ecriture Feminine and the Petite Mort of writing. One of my interlocutors was talking about dying little deaths, small deaths along the way of writing. This made me think of the Petite Mort, which is French for orgasm. As I read Sisu, and I think about her ecstasy in writing, talk about the flesh at work in the labor of love, I think more and more about the Petite Mort as a form of women's writing. This is all over Sisu. Her writing is full of ecstatic phrases about what it is to write. She does not fear the death of the author, either actual or metaphorical. Nor does writing for Sisu promise immortality. It is an in-the-moment activity. In The Author in Truth, Sisu writes about striking out for the unknown, to make our way in the dark, to see the world with fingers. Isn't this the act of writing par excellence? In her manifesto, Coming to Writing, there are extended passages. They're about losing yourself in mad love, amour fou, as Andre Breton wrote of. To writing, to a feminine writing. This is not a nihilistic death, as might be seen in Foucault or Barthes, but a joyous celebration of what it is to write. The text, already the lover, who savors the wait and the promise, she explains. Text, not a detour, but the flesh at work in a labor of love. As if she were taking the death of the author literally, then, she says in the beginning, there can be only dying, the abyss, the first laugh. In Sissu's definition of the text, I do not feel the need to repudiate stupid Derrida. I can accept there is nothing outside the text, this Ecriture feminine, in which all things live as long as they live. It is not a hedge against death, nor a headlong dive into death. It is not about immortality and what survives. Writing is its own joy, its own reward, its own pleasure. It is a petite mort that is meant to be shared. It is the revolution in language that is meant to liberate. It is a private moment, expressive and confessional. It is everything.